It's time for the PhDs. Two intrepid Paulding people, Pat Hughes and Deena Sanfilippo, seek the real truth, real justice, and the real American way. Here they are. Well, we're back. This is the PhDs, Pat Hughes, Deena Sanfilippo, and we've actually got I'm not even calling it a special guest. We've got a return, a rerun, a retread. There it is.
The bitch
Patti.
is back.
Yes. No joke. This is a great birthday after my birthday. I'm glad I wouldn't have made it past my birthday if you had come yesterday. Anyway, I just wanted to say, we got a happy birthday. Yes, I am at that age where they say they can't put enough candles on the cake. So, that's
Happy birthday, Patton.
Yes. And
how old are you now, my dear?
Well, let's put it this way. I was driving 49 years ago.
49 plus 16 or 15? 16.
Oh, well, I was driving when I was 13 and whatever, but I'm talking about legally. Yeah.
Okay, so you're 65.
Yes, I'm an old man.
fart.
Yes, and we're doing this show from the Paulding.com studios. You can kind of tell, and we're this is probably the last one we're going to do from here because hey, I've got a new interest.
What is that, Pat? Do tell.
Well, we ended up going way back. I used to be auctioneer at auctionsuniverse.com and auctions.com, and I was a pioneer and all that sort of stuff, and it was in the early days of the internet and blah blah blah. Anyway, I found this auction called Hubzoo, and I bought 8 plus some odd acres, 8 plus or minus or whatever, for $64,000 at an auction.
Wow.
With a really ugly house on it that leaked, had a leak roof, but I got as I pointed out on the post yesterday, I've got at least half of it, a new roof on half of it, courtesy of Jody Cash, not courtesy. I mean, he's doing the work.
He's doing the work.
I'm
you're
paying the money.
the bill.
I'm paying the money. But I mean, it's a great deal, and anyway, I've been working on that. I've lost 15 pounds doing that, and I've been totally oblivious to airports and
Lucky you.
environmental assessments and things like that. And then I come up here, and what do we start talking about?
The airport. So all
What
I always
else?
talk about.
What else?
And it's kind of like, boy, those bad people are out here trying to hurt me. They want to attack me on a what was it made out of? A cross made out of cedar or whatever. I don't know. All I know is that you're assuming guilt before guilt is proven. Is I guess, and we're all just trying to do what's right. I think. It would be nice to believe that. I know you don't.
Letting your neighbors drink jet fuel is doing the right thing.
Oh, yeah, that's the good Christian thing to do, isn't it?
I don't think.
Hey, we're adding something to your water at no additional charge to you.
Jet fuel to your. They would have to dump 10 777s.
Do you think 500 gallons would be a lot? Because that's
No.
how much went into the ground when the tornado came and tried to destroy the airport.
I would tend to think that to reach your well and cause any issue, you'd have to be a multiple of that.
Well, then why
at least
didn't in 1972
100, 200, 500
So
times
you,
that.
you just think that
Pat,
I'm safe, right?
why
So Pat
would in
said it must be
1972
true.
No, I know
the
that
city
your
of
well
Atlanta-
is better than mine because your septic tank's not as close to
Well,
the well on your property
I know.
as it is.
But
Well-
why would the city of Atlanta in 1972 in their feasibility feasibility study say the first thing that would need to be done if they built an airport in West Paulding would be to run sewer and public water because everybody out there is on well water.
Yes.
Absolutely, and it needs to be done if you're going to have that type of, particularly.
But has it been done?
And nobody has even addressed the issue. Nobody is even
let's
willing
address
to
it now.
admit.
It needs to be done.
But nobody. But here's the thing: nobody is admitting that this is an issue. They're just like, "Oh, you're just crazy. It's not going to do." I mean, everybody just kind of doesn't want to talk about that issue. They negate it if it's brought up. So it doesn't sound like to me that anybody is going to address the issue when they're sitting there saying.
Well, I'd say the county has made that clear to me over the years that they have not a tiny bit of intention of doing the right thing by the people most damaged by this stupid airport. But you know
what, Patty? They'll have an opportunity to tell that to the FAA because the public comment period is open. So they can write in and they can tell the FAA that in their opinion that drinking jet fuel is okay. Yes,
Healthy.
they can all write their letters to the FAA saying that they think it's a wonderful idea
and
that
I'm
their neighbors
sure,
in West Paulding get to drink jet fuel.
No, I don't
sure
think that's a great idea. What silliness brings you to say that? I mean, that's just being silly. That's being mean.
See, I thought being mean was destroying the value of our homes and the quality of our life and putting toxic water in our tap. I thought that was being mean.
That would be being mean.
Yes, and that's exactly what's happened. But yet, that seems okay with you, Pat.
No, that is not okay with me.
Good.
Patty.
Good.
But here's the thing, during a public comment period, people are going to write in on both sides. They're going to write in and they are going to express their concerns about, the water pollution, the damage to the darters' habitat. And then conversely,
darters.
people on the pro-airport side are going to say, oh, well, this is, this has been stated. People are wrong. The airport is going to create an even better habitat for darters, and it's going to improve the quality of the well water that people are drinking in Paulding County.
It will probably improve the quality of the water because they will actually run county water.
Do you know how much money that is going to cost taxpayers? The longer they can put that off, the better. I mean, the county has taken on so much debt in the last, 8-10 years. I would like to see what their, debt threshold is and how much more they can take on, because you're talking about a lot of money to run water and sewer to houses that are spread out.
And these houses,
it's a necessity
because we've already got our source of water, and we should not be charged for this adding us in. I mean, we had water. We paid for our septic tank and our drain fields and our wells. We paid for this already. So now the county, if they ever do wise up and run water out there, they're going to charge us again, adding more insult to the injury they've already done us.
I think that the people in West Paulding County will be having to have water trucked in before Paulding County runs sewer and water to people.
Well, I've never seen any indication that they gave a damn about anybody out there, and I've been dealing with these people for, I don't know, is it 7 years, 6 years now? And every time I try to get them to do the right thing, to educate them, to tell them about the damage, they're like, get out of here, lady. Blake finally said to me one day, Miss Smith, you don't like it? Why don't you get yourself a lawyer?
Well, I'm glad some of the neighbors have got themselves a lawyer.
Me too. I'm real glad some of the neighbors got themselves a lawyer.
Well, they have more than just their lawyer. They have the city of Atlanta.
5 or 6.
Yeah. Well,
they got a lot. Some of the finest legal minds in this nation are working on this, but I do worry about it. I mean, we still don't know who's behind it. I mean, to me, this could all be just such a kabuki theater that's going on here.
It is. It has more twists.
I know. There's just really no telling who's behind all the different warring sides of the Republican Party.
Yeah, well, at the
Paulding County.
Republican Party, can you imagine my amazement when I saw what was on Facebook on the anti-airport site on Facebook? What is it called?
Stop Paulding County
Paulding,
Airport
yeah.
expansion
Yeah.
or something like that.
And they had Vernon Collette, a video of Vernon Collette at.
The Democrat meeting in Paulding
Yeah.
County. I couldn't believe it
That's
either.
like strange bedfellows for
Oh
sure.
yeah, I mean Vernon,
Vernon
the
is
former
Tea
chairman
Party
of the
all the
Republican
way.
Party.
Oh,
right?
but not
and
just
then-
Republican.
and
He's
then-
Tea Party all the way. He
And
told
then
me.
it gets even more bizarre when we have some of the more conservative folks on the Republican Party holding up a sign for Terrence White, who is a Democrat, but he is
the
running
chairman
for
of the Democratic Party, who's running for city council in.
and it's a nonpartisan, and it's nonpartisan, but there is no way ever, except for this weird airport
Yeah.
issue
happens.
that
Yeah.
happens, and then
Yeah. I
question.
found that odd.
Then the question begs: who told them to play
Yeah.
nice?
Who told them to do the right and decent thing, and to help Terrence? Because I think that these people would not help Terrence
Well, here's the thing,
at any
Patty.
other time.
You
for
were a
any other
Democrat.
reason.
You were a Democrat,
And they
you
crapped on
you were
me.
anti-airport, and yes, they weren't helping you on your campaign. So how is Terrence?
Not only did they not
Different.
help
Well,
me,
I'll tell you, this is how Terrence is different. Okay. Now you want to know the power behind the anti-airport movement has been presumed to be the city of Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you were looking for the strength of the anti-airport epicenter, it would be the city of Atlanta, the owners of Hartsfield Jackson. And so they have a little, I would say, a little cachet with the Democratic Party and the majority of the elected Democratic officials in the state of Georgia. And Terrence being, he works in the Capitol with.
He's up and coming Democrat.
Yeah, and whatever, and so they just kind of said,
Play
"You need-
nice.
play nice, and be on." And this airport is Atlanta's. Be for Atlanta. It will make you points in the city.
So what you're saying is that the Republicans in this county are willing to whore themselves for a Democrat in Atlanta? Wow, that's amazing.
It's
And-
bizarro land. Like I said, more twists and turns, because I never thought that in a million years, after what? Let's see, I think there were some people calling Democrats demon-crats.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden
I've
they're
seen
holding up
vicious
a Terrence
things.
White
Yes.
sign.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
Yes.
It's
They call me and you Democrats.
Happy birthday!
Yes, something definitely happened there. I
Yeah,
don't know what.
it was. I recognize what happened, and it was fun.
Well.
It's politics, and politics makes strange bedfellows.
I know. And you know
Not for
what,
me.
Patty?
Yeah, I know. You're.
I'm a
virgin.
Democrat and proud Democrat. How about you?
Yes. I would be happy to be a proud Democrat instead of being around those people. I mean, I'm not sure I'd want those people to really support me, because if I'm thinking if they're supporting me, I must be doing something wrong.
Well, let's put it this way. It is. I always thought of it as local versus state and national, and the issues that always motivated me most were the local issues and what was good for local growth, and that was one of the roles that I understood that community newspapers and things like that always performed was. Yeah, let's bring more investment. Let's bring more things. I know that you're anti-investment.
No,
in
I'm
this,
not. I'm anti-stupid investment. And this airport was stupid investment.
That's the reason that Atlanta in 1972 bought 10,000 acres out here, because it was so stupid. Yes, I understand.
Well, they didn't
No.
build their airport out here,
No,
did
they didn't. There were more payoffs to be made in Atlanta in College
And they
Park.
still might get it all back. I mean, they still might,
Yeah, well, they're angling for it, and wonder what in the world they'll do with it if they get it free and clear without the worries of an airport.
It frightens me to think what greedy bastards would do to that area.
Oh, hey, look, you got to know that as the last frontier, if you will, in the Atlanta metro, that is, everybody's got their eyeballs on
Well,
that.
there's 10,000 acres up around Dawsonville too.
But Dawsonville's a little bit further
But
away.
this 10,000 acres is like, as Roy Sparks said one day, it's only good for two things, this area of West Paulding. And that would be billy goats and stills. Because there's plenty of springs in the mountain, and it's just like up and down. I mean, my parents had to buy 8 acres of land so they could find one flat spot on it, you know?
I think there's good money to be made in moonshine, so
yes,
we go for that.
I say we go for that. I mean, to me,
you can make
folks. I mean,
it would be excellent for that.
You can make $1,200 in one day. And
I know.
that's what, 1 month of revenue for the airport?
I know. The most money that airport's ever made is that house they own at the end of the runway they rent out. Even though it says it's not suitable for human habitation, but yet they rent it out. They care so much.
I would love to see what the contract says. You know, we will not hold the airport liable
if you're killed
crashes.
in your sleep.
Too
bad. Yeah.
But people will buy or rent anything if the price is right.
Yeah.
I thought it was being used for dignitaries to stay.
No, they rented it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's currently rented, but it was for a long time. Had somebody living in it. I mean, at first, when they first took it over, Blake went out and bought some furniture. I don't know if he rented or bought the furniture to put in it. And he paved Clark Road because it was just a gravel road. But as soon as the county owned that little piece of property and they were going to have their meetings there with their furniture that they bought to put in it, they paved the road that they had left unpaved forever. So, you know, when they're willing to spend our tax dollars to help themselves any way they possibly can.
Speaking of that, I'm 3 weeks into a water tap, and I'm just amazed that I actually had a call from a county engineer or assistant county engineer or whatever, talking about how straight they are and how everybody waits their turn and everybody's expected to wait their turn and whatever. And I was sitting there saying, hey, this is Paulding County. I mean,
it's not what I've heard. I've heard if you're friends with the right person, things just happen just like a miracle for you.
Yeah,
but if you're not friends with the right person, you're screwed.
Well, I guess despite all the statements to the contrary, I'm not friends with the right person because I'm waiting my turn on this son of a bitch. But anyway.
Well, people who think that you're in bed with David Austin don't usually, have a lot of things right. So
yeah, well, that's true.
But anyway, back to the airport issue. You can go out to Paulding.gov and look at the draft environmental assessment. The comment period is, I believe, open or about to be open, and it's, I think, about a 30-day window, so you can get your letters in to the FAA telling them how wonderful you think the airport is going to be, or how detrimental the airport is going to be. And then also there's going to be a public meeting on December 1st out at the airport. I didn't see a time. I imagine it's going to be, 6, 7 o'clock in the evening. Hopefully. I hope that it would be in the evening so people could come, but,
Knowing them, they'll make it at 6:30 in the morning on a Sunday. Because they really don't want people to come.
Well, actually, the FAA and all that sort of stuff, they're looking at them, and I'm sure that they would like for this to take, and that it to progress and the whole bit, because I don't think these people are. I don't think that they walk around and have to snip off horns every day.
I hope
you don't.
No, I don't.
I hope that whoever is paying for these lawsuits would send out like a postcard or something to every household in the county telling them about this meeting on December 1st and why they should show up. I hope that, somebody will.
I'd rather they buy an ad on Paulding.com. Hell,
I hope the powers that be behind these
Be a lot cheaper.
lawsuits, get people up in an uproar with their pitchforks, so they'll come out to this meeting with their pitchforks and.
Where's it going to be?
Huh?
Where's it going to be?
The airport.
Oh, at the airport.
At the airport. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I can't. I hope a lot of people come. I can't think of a room at the airport that would be big enough if all the people that should come. Of course, I haven't been to the airport in a while. Maybe Brett Smith has remodeled it.
Just to go back over another thing, what was it? 15 years in 30 seconds. 15 years to get the 404 approved and 30 seconds to sign it for the reservoir.
Oh, is that what they did at the little ceremony that they had? Okay.
So they finally got the environmental impact study for that approved then. Wow. That's surprising.
And got through the Corps of Engineers, who is very
that's surprising.
jealous of their water rights.
Yes, because one of the scientists, who was like the premier scientist of darterfish in the world, said that area around Richland Creek was like the perfect, in the whole world, the perfect spot for the darterfish. So I guess the darterfish doesn't hold as much weight as it used to. I don't know. Because from what I read in his report, there's no way they could let him do this to the poor little darters. But
oh well.
I wonder what we should have done. We should have found out, Patti, what kind of fish it was that was out in California that caused them to shut down a bunch of people downstream from getting water, and we should have bought some of those off of Amazon and dumped those into
That's what Pat said we were doing. We were filling up the streams with darterfish we got off Amazon. Yeah. Well, actually, there is a book on Amazon that I found that it's about the darterfish, and I think it was the Tennessee Dam, the Tennessee River Dam project. The darterfish, squashed that. It was a very interesting story.
Yeah, and the Corps of Engineers in their past, they used to go through places like in Arkansas, Cache River. They wanted to channelize the Cache River.
Yeah.
In other words, just make it a ditch.
Yeah.
And they were, that was before the EPA and environmental impact statements and the whole bit. But things like that ended up being stopped. And it's good when things are stopped, and it's good when things are allowed to go. And
I don't know. I worry about the EPA because to me the EPA is our last line of defense against crazy people who would just as soon destroy the life on this earth as not.
And that's what scares me about Republicans, because who was it that wanted to completely get rid of the EPA? One of those crazy Republican candidates.
I'd say most.
Well, there were several. Yeah, there were several. But going back to that, I was in a program called LEADAR in the 80s. We went to Washington D.C. And I have to admit, we went and visited with some people from EPA, and that woman that spoke to us, I would not have wanted to meet in a dark alley. She was mean. She was rough. She was. She actually instilled. This was LEADAR was W.K. Kellogg Foundation. Leadership program through the University of Arkansas, which is through their agricultural school. And we were there with I was there with a lot of farmers and folks of that nature, and they were, really, it was like that type. The EPA is got sometimes a bad reputation amongst a lot of folks.
Well, because they're, as is all branches of our government, it's a wholly owned subsidiary of corporate America. Whatever toxins corporate America wants to pump into our waterways, hey, good, let's do it, because it's like a revolving door from corporate America into those governmental agencies that oversee them. So, as long as we've got
you seem to revel in the power power that they have, and in their arbitrary
I would hope
nature.
that they would do the right thing. I have
well, that's
heard
the whole damn
horrible
point.
stories about them promising the people that they're doing the right thing. People think that they're being protected, and then at the last minute, the EPA pulls the rug out from under them, and then they not only lose the fight to save their little piece of the environment, but they also end up with a lot of legal bills because now the lawyer is saying, "Oh, well, now we want you to pay."
That sounds familiar.
Yes,
That's what I'm kind of concerned about here.
I know. That's why I wouldn't sign on to the lawsuit, because they wouldn't tell me who was paying for it. I mean, hell, for all I know, Brett Smith is paying for that lawsuit. But I was the first to be approached about these lawsuits. They came to me first, and I wanted nothing to do with it. I'm not. You get in bed with somebody you don't know, boys and girls, you might wake up with fleas. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do know exactly what you're saying.
So,
As I remember, no.
so I refuse to get involved in their lawsuit, and I do worry about my neighbors that are involved in it.
Yeah.
Some of the people involved in it are not my neighbors, and I'm really not even sure why they're involved in it, but they are. But the people most damaged by this airport, it would be a shame.
Well, it would be
For them to
it
get
would be
screwed
so much
again.
more appropriate from a policy standpoint to make the homeowners that are impacted whole and not pay lawyers.
Well, yes, it would.
Therein lies.
I mean, you just think probably for what the county is going to end up having to pay in all these lawsuits if they have just paid certain people just to go away that were most aggrieved and most
Yes.
damaged by it. That
Yes.
seems like it was.
That's the reason it was important that the law firms themselves come up with their own buddies to be on the lawsuit, because they couldn't count on the real people like you.
maybe.
But anyway, I tell you what, this is the last show. We're about to cut it off, I guess.
Ooh, so sad.
I
Too
know.
bad.
And we'll be moving Paulding.com basically to the internet, where it's always been anyway. And so, with that, simplify and
Adios, amigos.
goodbye, and oh well,
Ciao.
happy birthday.
This has been the PhDs with Pat Hughes and Deena Sanfilippo. They've sought the real truth, real justice, and the American way. Bye now.